The 5 o'clock show continues. International Parking Day.
Yeah.
And in this part, the phonetics is very important.
Yes,
What
exactly.
the heck is going on with this parking spot in front of your shop?
We're making a beautiful park in a parking space. It's part of International Parking Day, parkingday.org. And just to raise awareness for people to realize we need to save our green space and enjoy our green space, look for the birds, look for the butterflies, and just, you know, it's just something fun.
And this is for a day.
Just for the day. Yep, so we have some landscapers here from Steve's Landscape. He's
Steve
putting in.
Charret.
Yes.
See, I got it.
Yeah, you
Steve
got
Charret
it.
and his team have been here for a little bit.
Well, it's like an hour we've been doing this, so it took really not that much time. Orca brought down a whole bunch of native plants. The Ecology Park donated some plants for us to borrow for the day. Griffin's brought some things down. Gardens Plus, I had some in my backyard, so it's been great. And then Brooke Taylor from Taylor's Recycled Plastic, he brought us these wonderful benches made out of recycled plastic.
Recycled stuff and the sandbox too.
Exactly, yep. The
I love
sandbox,
their stuff.
he especially built that for us, and a friend of mine brought me some toys for the kids, so we can have some
smart?
kids come down.
So, you know what, how big is your average park? What do you think, Steve? How big is this space, do you think?
This would be probably about 150 square feet.
150 square feet.
Yeah.
So, you know what, considering the amount of space that you actually have,
It
look
looks
at
gorgeous.
how much is in
I
here.
know. I want to sit here all
Like
day.
a little park.
I'm just waiting for my coffee to be delivered.
So who is there something that follows up from International Parking Day? Like do cities send in their pictures or what
Yeah,
they've done?
they have a website where you can post everything. I also started a Facebook page, but yeah, I'm going to post some pictures there. You can just report it, how many people drop by, whatever you like. But it's just to raise awareness. So it's a really neat event. It's been going on for years apparently, but in Ontario, I've only ever seen maybe one person doing it here in Peterborough a few years ago. So I think we're doing a great job.
You're on it. No,
Yeah.
it looks great. Of all the people who are going to rush by on this busy work day or
Yep.
drive by, what do you hope comes out of it for
Well,
them?
I hope that they think about all the space that is needed for parking, for roads, for transports, and just think about preserving the green space and just thinking a little bit further about how much space we lose to pavement. Toronto is has one of the best agriculture grounds in Ontario, and yet it's paved over with everything. So the more space that we lose all the time to paving, you know, the less space we have to grow food and grow plants. And we've heard recently in the news about the bees and just the tiny little bees, how much of an impact they have on our food system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll also enjoy it too. This is so good. Look at her just putting this down.
Looks great.
Okay, we're going to find out about some of the plants that are in here. Certainly, we're probably going to highlight some native plants as
Sure,
well.
yep.
Things that people can actually look at putting into their own garden, in their own little green space. And maybe we'll challenge people to, you know, just take even 25 square feet and see what you can put into that spot.
Exactly.
That's coming up as we celebrate Parking Day.
Yay.
We're going to go sit in the park.
Let's go sit.
Let's go sit on the 5 o'clock show. This is also ahead. You want to put that one up?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Enjoy the park.
The folks are loving it.
Volunteers.
Just casually walking along Sherbrooke Street and boom, a park shows up where a parking spot used to be. Brenda Ivy, you and the... Isn't this lovely?
Oh, it's great.
I know, they've done a beautiful job. We're going to find out about some of the things they'll... To do this, revamp this, let's be fair and say, what do you think it probably would have cost for all of the elements here? Knowing that this is a Taylor's recycled bench.
This is a bench. I don't know the price of the bench, but I would think probably a couple, $2,000 to $3,000 for all the plant material and all the supplies here. And then the labor, of course, probably would add on top of that. But,
Okay. But
yeah.
still, look at what has happened. Now, of the bright pops of color have come from some baskets of annuals.
Right.
But also, it's a smart idea to use these non-natural elements to be your pops of color too in the fall.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to use the sod because sod's not really eco-friendly. So this mat is made out of recycled plastic. It's a fair trade item.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, so and it's really great. I sell a lot of them for outside, but really easy.
Steve really likes his. He says that's great for outside patios, decks, anything like that.
It's perfect. Yeah, exactly. If you have an old deck that you want to just cover up, it's great. Or if you have out in front of a camper or something, it's nice. But they can stay outside because the water just runs right through them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And a few of the plants that have been brought in, I'm going to be talking to Steve in a little bit about, just picking a 5-foot by 5-foot spots. So
Right.
what do you kind of gravitate to, and what do you
Well, I
like
like
to add?
lots of the native plants. So you've got in your hand a really nice grass. I'm not sure that this is a native grass, but grasses are. There's a lot of native grasses like the big blue stem and different grasses like that. This one turns a really nice purple in the fall. We got it
beautiful.
from Gardens Plus out in Donwood.
Oh,
and then
good.
lots of other bushes and things that will get berries on them and flowers to attract the birds, like the dogwoods and
Which one's the dogwood?
I want the little purple tag, and actually these here are
Oh, these here?
dogwoods. Yeah,
Oh,
these are
okay.
dogwoods as well. So there's red osier dogwood, and there's different varieties of dogwood. There's yellow dogwood, and there's lots of berries that appear on these, and our birds really love the berries.
Oh,
so
they
it's
look
a
great too.
yeah. And then there's a white pine there. So again, that's a native plant. The red maples are also native maples. Those are the ones that you get the gorgeous color at this time of year. They get the vibrant red. The native or the non-native maples, like the Norway maples, that get the purple or that ugly spot on them
The
at this
big
time
brown
of year.
leaves, yeah.
Yeah, those are not native. They don't turn a really nice color. The leaves are too big. The root systems are too big. So we don't really encourage people to plant those sorts of trees because they're just not meant for our environment and they don't do well here.
And I think Green Up has been part of, kind of
Yes.
contributing some
Yeah.
of those local plants too.
Yeah,
so
a lot
if
of
you're
the native
interested
plants.
in looking at native plants, they've
Yeah,
got a
the
great
Ecology
program.
Park has a great selection of native plants, and they have some plant sales coming up this fall still.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up
Yeah.
on that.
Orca just finished a planting in Beavermead, and so lots of great plants to put on the shorelines.
What's this one? That's just the cabbage. We see these a lot.
The cabbage are great, because they turn a really nice color in the fall. Nice to kind of use as fillers if you have a planter that's maybe not doing so well anymore. Throw in a couple of nice cabbages to replace some of the stuff that's not so nice. And Griffin's has these plants that are just little fillers to top it up. Because, the season still will go on for a little while. And these can take some frost, and they actually turn a nice color when
And
they
you
get
don't have
frosted.
to get rid of all of the stuff
Yeah.
that's at least still making it in
Exactly.
those baskets.
Yeah.
Oh, good advice. Great tips here. And it's all because of International Parking Day 2013.
Excellent.
Brenda's got it on Facebook. More tips on landscaping, even if it is just a parking spot that you're doing. Coming up on the 5 o'clock show. Right now, let's check in with Julie Cox. She's looking at doing some improvements for a home, but needs a little help to get along the way. She has some great advice.
A bit of riverstone, a dry riverbed. It's something that is always, a nice decorative feature. But again, no weeds, no maintenance.
The 5 o'clock show is just helping add a few finishing touches to Parking Day 2013, an international effort to make every space a little bit more beautiful. Today it was Steve Shadé of Steve's Landscape, based at Fowler's Corners, who did a lot of the assembling here. So this looks awesome.
Thank you.
Now, even though these plants are just here for the day, you have made a selection of certain things. You've also done some really interesting things with the borders and textures. And I think people forget sometimes that can be just as much a part of how a space looks as the plants themselves.
Exactly. Like, we're always looking for, mulches are gardener's best friend. It helps to reduce weeds, keeps moisture, but also dividing. Mulch seems to like to roll out of your garden. You cut the lawn, it's into it.
Yeah.
So we like to work with natural stone and also man-made stone borders, which helps to retain your soil and your mulch, but also changing, like you were saying, the texture. A bit of riverstone, a dry riverbed. It's something that is always, a nice decorative feature. But again, no weeds, no maintenance. Using the edging on the outer side, like you see, helps keep your plant material from seeping out into your grass, and keeps your garden retained into one great spot. So as far as we always try to low maintenance. It's the key word I hear from everybody. So mulches and stones and using curbing. And this is a natural cedar mulch.
I was going to ask you, there's no color in this.
And this is a local supplier, local mulch. It's actually made here in the Kawarthas. So we try to keep everything local, but also it helps to keep the moisture. And also weeding. Gardening is not weeding. Okay? So mulch helps to reduce weeding significantly, so we always like to do that, but also defining spaces. Even if it's a really small area, small yard, we always like to see,
some separation.
Some separation. Where do we walk? Where is the garden?
Well, if you think about it, people want to know, people don't think they have enough space to make a beautiful garden space. But this is just a few feet around.
Exactly. Natural boulders, which are always nice.
Yeah.
We didn't have the space here to work with boulders, but as you see, even in the rockery, we have several sizes. So even the size of your stone, by mixing in a few bigger stones into some pea gravel, it gives it that natural look. And what we want is it to look like it was there, not put there. So if we, and everything we build, we're always trying in the design phase, even if it's a very, very small space in the front, is melding different product as far as different size stone, different colored mulches, things like that.
A question about the mulch. Can this be used as a pathway element, or is it better? It can.
It is. We do. Actually, you're seeing a lot more in park spaces. They're using it as a path element.
Okay.
Because what it does, again, keeps the weeds down, so it keeps the path down. And mulch will compress, which is nice. One wonderful thing about mulch is it decomposes. It's adding matter to your soil, where it keeps your soil looser, and loose soil means happy plants.
And I guess, and you want to, when you're looking at the decomposing factor, you are trying to make this as natural as possible.
That's right. What it is you replenish your mulch about every 2 years.
Okay, good.
You know, I always warn customers, we put mulch, we usually put it in about 3 inches thick, which just seems excessive, but actually within about 3 months, it compresses down to about 2 inches and starts to decompose in the bottom. So we're actually, that rotting process is inviting worms and all the wonderful things we want in our soil.
Look at our happy worms.
We're, you know, people are so busy nowadays where a little bit of mulch just saves a lot of time. And then you can enjoy the actual gardening, planting, doing the trimming of your shrubs and things like that.
I think we're going to do that just now. This is only up for a precious few hours. Stephen, you and your team did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great advice from Parking Day on Sherbrooke Street. The 5 o'clock show wraps up. Coming up next is News Watch First at 5:30.